Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we're going over the Sonic the Hedgehog, BALLHOG Badnik, and Fang the Sniper from Jakks Pacific, and the custom Marvelous Queen vehicle from Andrew Rankin of Rankin Customs. Now let's get to it. The head sculpt for BALLHOG is really cute, the snout is really adorable, like a power plug kind of, and the eyes are really big and kind of slanted as if it's sad. I also love the little ears, they're mechanical looking and robotic. We do have this in the back and it's kind of a shame and not really printed that well, sadly, right over here, but it looks nice otherwise. We do have a scene running on the side, sadly, that's just what action figures are made to be. And the BALLHOG's head can rotate all the way around, can't really pivot or anything, but it does look nice and it's pretty well molded and sculpted and painted. Going down to the body is where a few of my gripes come into play. I do love these arms. They are over-articulated in my opinion. You don't need them to be this articulated, but you can move them all the way around and go up and down as well. On both sides even. Again, they could have just made it one joint doing this all the way around at least, but they had this little hinge and it just adds so much to the figure. Before we get to the little pot belly over here, let's go to the back, and this curly cute tail is so cute. I'm not sure what this is, a battery pack or hatch. It's pretty cute, but this is an adorable little tail. I love it so much. And going to the front, my biggest gripe with the figure. This is supposed to be a hatch with a ball inside to have it move, and you cannot take this off. It's glued on or shut or molded, but yeah, it kind of sucks. They could have had a great action feature on their hands with a ball inside, but they really kind of ruined it. It's a big shame. I'm really upset about this. I've seen customizers actually make their own version of BALLHOG where this moves up, and I'd rather get that than this, sadly. Yes, this is made by Jakks and official, but it isn't really that great in my opinion, honestly, at least for this feature, but the rest of the figure looks pretty cool. And as far as the feet are concerned, I do like how they look. We have dark gray on the back as well as light gray and light gray over here, and dark gray on the bottom with some holes on the feet and a little bit of legalese. You can't really move them or anything. They're inert. It's kind of a shame. They could have added some kind of swivel, but they just didn't. It's really weird, honestly. And of course, I got two BALLHOGs. I love the Badniks, and having more army builders is always great. BALLHOG stands at about 1 3/4 to 2 inches tall, next to Sonic and Supersonic, Tails and Knuckles, Ray and Mighty, Mechasonic and Metal Sonic, Amy Rose and Eggman, next to Octus and Neutron, next to Burrowbot and Crabmeat, next to Buzz Bomber and Chopper, next to Rhinobot and Motobug, next to Egg Robo and Caterkiller. Fang's head sculpt looks really nice, and I love this piece a lot, the cowboy hat in particular. You can easily re-release a Knuckles with this cowboy hat, it's so cool. The eyes and snout on Fang are painted really well, as is this smile, but the tooth kind of worries me. From certain angles it kind of disappears. Maybe having a gray outline for it or something would have been much better. And going around to the back of the head, we have these weird kind of parts of the ears that are like flutes in a way or something, and this dumb coat over here. And going back all the way around, no tooth or smile on this side over here. Fang does look really good from most angles at least. I like the sculpt a lot. And the articulation is as usual with the swivel the head all the way around, but no real pivot or anything. A little bit up or down actually. Pretty nice, a little bit side to side. It's a good head, but needs better paint on the tooth. Fang's body looks really cool. I love the kind of V-neck thing we have up here, and then the belt is really nice going all the way around, and I like how it's cinched. Very good. The gloves in particular are really cool. I love these little metal plates on them. They're very nice, and the palms are nice too. They're molded super well actually. Well done. And the minimal articulation these spindly little arms have is fine, going up and down and all the way around. Pretty much nothing for the wrists at least. It's okay for a 2-inch figure, but I'm just waiting for this 2.5-inch figure to turn 4-inch. Now let's talk about this tail, shall we? It juts back in kind of a boomerang fashion when hitting the ground. It's kind of weird. It could have been all the way out, but that would have messed with the figure. I'm glad we have this at least in a way. And this tail will actually come in handy later on with a certain thing, but for now I do appreciate how this looks, works, and feels. Doesn't really rotate that much anyways though. And going down to his feet or his cowboy boots or whatever you want to call them as it were, they look nice, and he does have a wraparound of white over here that kind of goes into this caramel colored portion of foot or shoe at least, and it looks nice, I think. Really harkens back to the old westerns of the time with the belt, hat, and the shoes. Yeah, I can see it. He's a cowboy kind of. And the articulation for his legs are nice. He can go up pretty far and back pretty far at least, as well as a swivel swivel up here all the way around, but nothing really much else. And aside from the articulation, Fang does have 2 holes on the feet, and I do appreciate how these wraparounds kind of go on the bottom. They look pretty nice, actually. Fang is shaping up to be a really good figure in the Jakks 2.5-inch line. I like him a lot, mostly the sculpt, though, as well as the paint in some places. Fang stands at about 2¼ to 2.5 inches tall or so. Next to Sonic and Supersonic, next to Tails and Knuckles, next to Ray and Mighty, next to Mechasonic and Metal Sonic, next to Amy Rose and Eggman, next to Octus and Neutron, next to Burrowbot and Crabmeat, next to Buzz Bomber and Chopper, next to Egg Robo and Caterkiller, next to Rhinobot and Motobug. But Fang calls his ride right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Fang's vehicle, the Marvelous Queen, is a sight to behold. I really love how this looks, and Andrew Rankin did an amazing job on this piece. The front looks very nice with this teal portion up here. I do kind of like the rings made with the 3D print over there. There's a thin stripe of teal going in the front, very nice on that. Below is a little neck of black over there with a small buttony looking thing below that. The seat is mostly yellow with bits of black and silver on there, and there's a control panel very nicely molded on this. He didn't have to do that, but wow, it's great. And the seat does have a little hole in it, as well as a curved area over there for the character to sit in. And one of the parts here kind of bothers me. It should be fully flush. Instead, it's done in little squares. If that could be done fully flush, that'd be amazing. And coming around the back, it looks like the back of a hot rod car. It's pretty cool. We have some tail lights as well as some jet boosters over here with peg holes too. You could probably put some blast effects in here, and that'd be cool, but I do think these are way too small for anything to fit in, honestly. And the back does have 2 little specks of what I think are little pieces of silver. I'm not sure. They look nice though. And coming around to the side is the same as before, just a different side, and it looks very nice all the way around for this piece. Going to the bottom, we have a dome as well as a stand, and the traditional kind of Robotnik type stand that we've seen with the Eggmobile. And on the bottom, there are several holes for this to go into if you want to angle it a little bit, so that's nice to have a few options here and there. All in all, the entire thing is sculpted really well. By placing Fang's legs and arms up, assuming the position to get into this, putting his tail in the slot, and it works so perfectly. I love this. I mean, just look how good it looks. He is made for this and built for this. Literally, the tail slot thing and all that. It's so nicely done. Well done, Andrew. Without Fang, it's a cool ride, but with Fang, it's Fang's cool ride. The Marvelous Queen, how gorgeous she is. You can even put Sonic in here. It's really cute. It's a little top heavy when you try to shove a character in. Just make sure to push it back, and you're pretty good. Looks nice. But one of the main draws of this was a battle function that Andrew actually tried to implement here. Moving the characters away so I don't hurt them, there is a function where if you hit hard enough here, it does dislodge this from that and this from this. And while it is easy to all slot back together and place nicely back on the stand with it working very well, I would have loved to see an option where a divot was cut into the bottom, thus allowing for way more movement back and forth, side to side. Cutting across in the bottom would be great. But my minor gripes aside for a version 2, this is basically perfect as is. I really love it. It's super nicely done. And Fang will always look incredible in this piece. The Marvelous Queen stands at about 3 inches tall and about 3 inches long or so. And with Fang, the height rises to about 3 3/4 to 4 inches tall or so. Here's Fang next to the playable cast of Sonic Superstars. I really hope we get Trip soon now. And here's Fang next to the Eggmobile. They look pretty nice together. I hope Jakks eventually makes this somehow. No offense to Andrew, but I do think this is a great stepping stone towards that. And here's a comparison of the bases if anybody was wondering. I actually would have loved to see a brighter yellow on this one over here. And here they are all next to each other. BALLHOG, Fang, and Marvelous Queen. Overall, marvelous superstars. The BALLHOG is a really nicely sculpted, painted, and articulated figure. It could have had that hatch in the stomach, but I guess not. To me, it really suffers for that. Fang looks awesome and exactly like his character model in Sonic Superstars. I love the cowboy outfit. It's just awesome, and it's really represented well here. My only issue with him is the tooth not being seen that well, and the tail being weirdly kinked, but that turns out to be a blessing in disguise. It fits perfectly into the Marvelous Queen, and I really love this ride. It's super awesome. This speeder bike thing is phenomenal. It has elements of a spaceship and a 50s hot rod car. It just screams amazingness. While the sculpt is really nice in it, I do feel like the articulation could be a little bit better. Having it weave in and out on the base would be better than just being inert on it as well. And as much as I appreciate the explosion effect, it doesn't really come off as well if you don't want to damage your figures. But I gotta give a huge special thanks to Andrew Rankin of Rankin Customs. He does phenomenal work, and this is one of his best. If you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.5-inch figures or Jakks specific, then you'll love these figures. They're awesome. But if I were to only pick one, it would be Fang, and the custom notwithstanding, he's an awesome figure, but definitely now he needs a ride, and I'm glad to have this one. But make no mistake that you look amazing today. You look marvelous, Queen. So which figure here is your favorite? The BALLHOG, Fang, or the custom Marvelous Queen? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.